Well, hello, and thanks for watching another episode of News of the Pews, your source for the finest 2A propaganda. First, I want to thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
The flood of thoughtful comments, subscriptions, and donations since Spicy and I announced our departure from ARFCOM has been absolutely overwhelming and encouraging. Thank you so much. But let's make with some news. Darrion Holywell used to be a lot of things. A husband, a cop, a gun owner, but it doesn't look like he was very good at any of them. In fact, it looks like he was a real dirtbag. So don't get it twisted, I'm not trying to defend this guy as we discuss what happened to him, but what happened to him is truly insidious.
Most insidious stereotype ever.
So Holywell was fired from his job at the King County Sheriff's Department for pimping out his wife at the time, dealing steroids and other controlled substances, and stealing department property. So yeah, like I said, real dirtbag. He ended up doing a year in jail, and his wife got a restraining order. She insisted that he wasn't really turning in all his guns. The King County Domestic Violence Firearms Unit, which apparently is a whole ass unit in King County, produced a report claiming that he had not turned in 70 registered firearms. Now, Washington State doesn't have a firearms registry, so I can only assume that they meant they were able to find 70 4473s with his name on it. Just because the guy bought a gun at a time doesn't mean he still has the guns. Holywell says he already forfeited all of his guns when he got caught for pimping.
P-I-M-P.
The court doesn't believe that he turned in all his guns, and rather than just, I don't know, searching his house, which is of course within their authority to do, because the court can issue a warrant, that's how things work.
You got a warrant? Sure, here's my warrant.
No, instead, they decided to hold him in jail for a grand total of 115 days, but in increasing increments of 5, 10, 30, and 70 days. They also fined him $100,000, all for contempt of court, because he says he doesn't have guns anymore, and the court says, we don't believe you because you used to have guns. But wait! There's more. His ex-wife is asking the court to hold him indefinitely. So instead of just imposing I find you guilty of contempt of court, you have to do 10 days or whatever the term is. No. Instead of, in this country, we have a finite term of jail, prison, if you will, for murder. The big one, the MDK. We have finite terms of imprisonment for everything, but this woman wants the court to hold him indefinitely until he complies with the order to turn in guns that he apparently doesn't have. Also occurs to me to ask how he could possibly comply with an order while he's in jail, but hey, I'm just some guy. It gets worse. A 3-judge panel concurred with her side of things and has remanded the case to a lower court, which means that they intend to go through with it and jail him indefinitely.
Forever.
But hey, it would be impossible to produce quality 2A propaganda without you. So, if you are in a comfortable place in life, please help us keep in a comfortable place in life by contributing to our tip jars in the doobly-doo or by joining our channel. But if you are not in a comfortable place in life, you focus on you and yours. You don't owe us a damn thing. You just focus on this fine 2A propaganda at free 99.
If the price is right.
Price?
If you followed me on ARFCOM News, you've seen me flip back and forth between support for and criticism of President Trump and Attorney General Bondi for their on-again, off-again support for gun rights. Well, today is on-again, oddly enough. The Department of Justice has announced that they believe that the ban on mailing handguns is unconstitutional. The law was passed back in 1927, long before UPS or FedEx, long before the 1968 Gun Control Act and background checks, long before 4473s, and after the ban on mailing handguns was passed in 1927, it was still perfectly legal to order a fully automatic Thompson direct to your house. The DOJ pointed out the fact that the patchwork of draconian state laws makes traveling with a handgun extremely risky. Even with perfect planning, an unplanned weather diversion to New Jersey could make you a felon. It's just safer to mail the handgun to yourself. Back in 2024, control freaks passed a law to punish people who leave a firearm in an unlocked vehicle in Savannah, Georgia. As dumb as I think that is, I also believe the answer is not to put the offender in the struggle cuddle cage, but rather to encourage people not to do it by not banning guns in establishments. Shouldn't be. If you make the place off limit to guns, of course more people are gonna leave guns in cars. That's just duh. So the Georgia legislature set that straight by passing SB 204, which now heads off to the governor's desk. If passed, it would void Savannah's law. So call Governor Kemp at 404-656-1776 and tell him to sign SB 204. Finally, I want to salute, when I'm sitting that'd be awkward, but finally I want to salute a real American hero. Florida man Lawrence Michael DeStefano told New York State Attorney General Letitia James to get bent when she demanded the names of 50,000 of his customers who happened to be from New York. Now, he's been sitting in jail in Orange County, Florida for almost 3 months, and he could get extradited to the Empire State, but he recently stated from jail, "I will never tell Letitia James who bought my guns. I care about my customers. They should know I will never turn over their customer data." And I think that is incredibly based because the other 9 business owners who Letitia James went after turned over all of their customer names. So well done. Now, before I let you go, I just want to remind you how utterly critical gun rights are to our very survival. Democide accounts for more unnatural deaths in all of human history than any other factor. If the people of Iran had a 200-year history of private firearms ownership, there wouldn't be 20,000 dead people in Iran right now. Well, friends, thanks for watching. Rounds complete on 2. Before I let you go, your moment of completion. I love you.